basically the concept behind it is pretty intuitive, but it's basically this idea of bringing active learning into the learning process. So ultimately going from I, professor, stand up and talk to you for an hour and a half, and that's ultimately how you learn, to much more of you get a little bit of information and then you might get a quiz question on it to test whether or not you actually understand that information. And then the instructor or the professor gets data into here's what you're getting right, here's what you're getting wrong, so they can adjust their teaching methods accordingly. And you kind of repeat that process as you get a little bit more information, then you work together in a group, you get a little information in the quiz question. We're talking like 30% improvement in outcomes across the board for all kinds of students. And so Andrew and I said, well, what if we could take some of those similar sort of ideas around how you train and how you learn and apply them to this world of highly competitive athletics where there's a really strong incentive to perform better and to win. And so that was the earliest sort of thought process for me and Andrew. He and I went to graduate school at Stanford together and ultimately launched the platform while we were there. Started with athletic programs and really honed a lot of the techniques of how we would ultimately build and create the platform, working with sort of these professional and highly competitive NCAA programs. And then started to see other opportunities for how we could take this type of training and this type of methodology that we developed and apply it to the world of other places. So that's where we shifted from that to the U.S. military, went from there into Fortune 500 companies and really saw the growth that we've seen today. And there's sort of a lot longer story of working with the Department of Defense and all of those pieces, but that's the story in a nutshell.
Josh, I have a clarifying question for you.